And I have my 3 different kinds of onions. I have garlic, well, 2 different kinds of onions, sorry about that. I have my garlic that I did, and then I have the white onions, the little pearl onions. I love them, God bless them, but I was getting tired of trying to get the little skin off of them. And I have yellow onions. So, moving right along. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my seasoning in the jars, 1 tablespoon of seasoning and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And as you can see, let me see if I can get up closer. We have something we call Scott seasoning. There it is. And what we do is we mix a lot of seasonings that we like, especially like in our coffee or our food, whatever. Mix it together and label it. Call it Scott seasoning. Hope you have one. All right. A tablespoon seemed a bit much. So what I did was I just put in 1/2 teaspoon, as you can see, 1/2 teaspoon of the Scott seasoning. And now I will use 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Any kind of pepper. Well, I like a little heat in my food, you know. So whatever kind of heat you want to use, put a quarter tablespoon of it in there. Right, and this is with, let's see if I can move this properly. This is with the, there you go, the seasoning and the cayenne pepper. And now I'm going to put in a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Then I will put in the onions and so forth and so forth. I keep my salt in a pint jar, as you can see, Himalayan. I use the pink Himalayan salt, which is the best, either this or some that you can get on Amazon. There's another one, I can't think of the name, it's really good, made in Utah. So I'll put a 1/4 tablespoon of salt in there. Believe me, when you put your beans and everything in here, they will soak up the seasonings, and it won't be as bad as you think. And as you make them, as you go, you can add as much or as little as you want to. You know what I mean? All right, there's salt. See if I got this turned right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. There. Now I will add the, let me get a spoon. All right. Now I will add a little bit of the garlic in the bottom of each one. Garlic is really strong, so when you're canning, be careful how much garlic you're using, because it gets stronger. It gets stronger as your canner is processing. Some people don't like a lot of garlic. I love garlic, though. I love garlic. Okay. Garlic, got a little onion in there. Then I'll put some of the white onion in, the pearl onions. I guess I could have mixed them all together, huh? Yeah. More pearl onions here. Running into the regular onions now. Pearl. All right. Now I'll put in some regular onions. That should probably be easier with my hand. Let's see. Here we go. Put in some regular onions. And that process is done. On to the next. And they are filled and waiting for the beans. Just wanted you to see this. I'm going step by step here. Hope I'm not getting on your nerves. All right, and I just want to flash this at you. Flash this at you real quick. But when you're doing dry beans, okay, you do 1/2 cup of dry beans per pint and 1 cup if you're using quarts. And beans are like meat. You have to do them 75 minutes for pints in a pressure cooker, or 90 minutes for quarts in the pressure cooker. And where I live at, it is processed at 10 pound. Well, a lot of people use 10-pound pressure. You can, but I use 15 for my altitude. I like to go by what you're supposed to use, but 10 is usually what people use. But I like to do it the way you're supposed to do it. Go on Google and check out what your altitude is for your address and use that pound weight. I'm about to rinse and clean my black-eyed peas. Like, ooh. One. And you have to rinse them out because sometimes there's bad ones in here. Like that one you can see, and sometimes it looks like a worm or something ate through there. And sometimes there's literally rocks in these bean bags. And some people have actually found rocks in there. And folks, I promise you, I did not put that rock in there. But there is a rock in with my beans. All right, and here are some of the bad ones I found, which really isn't bad. This is a Goya brand. And Goya is pretty clean with their beans. But as you can see, you still have to clean them. Where's the rock? Here we go. Here's the rock. You still have to clean them. Mix your beans in cold water, or as some old folks used to say, I was raised around a lot of old people, and they used to say, rinse them good. All right. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do my, let me see. Oh, there we go, 1/2. If you remember, 1/2 cup per pint and a whole cup for quarts. So, let me see, I'll use this. All right, because it's still dripping with water. All right. 1/2 cup for pints. I'll put it over here. Oh, you still see. Cool. Okay. 1/2 cup. I like to do like a small cup of stuff even when I do my rice. You guys saw my videos on YouTube about parboiled rice. So I like to a little lower and put the 1/2 cup in. A little lower than the original. Because these, whenever they heat up, they soak up a lot of water. And they will cook all the way to the neck of the jar. And you will have some left, just like the rice. For some reason, I don't know why, but you will have some left over. I guess once it gets wet, they you know, they get bigger and it counts. Let me see if we have some left over this time. All right. Yeah, 3 more jars. 1, 2. Maybe not. Just not. And this was a whole bag of the black-eyed peas. A whole bag of them. So, 1 pound bag, I believe. And this one. And there's a few more left. So I will take them out and just distribute them a little bit at a time in each one. waste anything, right? Waste not, want not. All right. And they are filled. And now, what you can do, I'm going to stop this. What you can do, you can fill this, you can fill these with cold water, and you could do cold jar. When they say 3 times, hot, 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 or hot, and cold, cold, or cold, you could fill your cold jars with cold water and put them in a cold canner, a canner with 2 quarts of cold water in it. Or if you want to use some kind of broth, you could use broth instead of cold water, or you could make your broth, and since the broth is hot, you pour the broth in here, which makes the jars hot, and you want to put them in warm water, warm up your canner. Don't shock your jars, see? So what I'm going to do is, now that we're talking, pleasant talking to you, by the way, hi. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get I have cabbage juice back here in the back. I have juice from when I made greens, and what else is it? Oh, chicken broth and turkey broth. Remember that one time? I don't know if you guys saw my video whenever I showed everybody how to leave bones in the pot overnight. Well, I think it was like 2 or 3 days. I cooked those days. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to get some kind of broth. So they already have flavor in them, so to speak, with the seasoning. But I like them in broth. It's healthy. You know what I mean? So like you open one up for breakfast or something, or for dinner or whatever. You got company coming over. You got to sit down and watch TV. Open up a nice healthy jar of black eyed peas. I'll be back. And we're back. I have no idea what happened, but I was pouring. I went back in my cabinet and I brought kale juice and I poured it in my KitchenAid. I'm going to just blend it a little bit. And then I brought, for some reason, the camera just went off, whatever, you know, but it doesn't make a difference. Anyhow, then I bought some more. This is, you can see this is old label, but it actually says greens broth. So, and that was 9/30/22. So I'm going to add this. They're both kale, most likely. It could be kale and mustard. So I'm going to open this. Oh yeah, you guys missed my, oh yeah, you missed my seal. Listen to this seal, okay? Oh, this one wasn't as loud as the other one. All right. Oh, that smells good. Hey. And it's got, it still has some greens in it, as you can see on it. Oh yeah, you can see. It still has some greens in it. Always smell when you open it up. Sniff test. Super. All right. Now I'm going to mix this in with what I already put in there. And it's got a little bit of greens in it, but I mean, you know, it's healthy for you. Right? Okay. Now the last one, because I'm going to add water to them, because we have 3 jars of this for 8 jars of that. You add water to it and it'll, believe me, it'll stretch in the canner. This one is mushroom broth that I canned some mushrooms. This one is mushroom broth. I can't get too close because the last time I did that, the camera went off and I lost everything. But anywho, I'm going to open up mushroom broth. Can I wipe this off? All right. When you put a knife on over like this, then you open up with one of these kind of can openers. Saves your lids. Ooh, there you go. You hear that one? That one was loud. All right. Okay. Okay, and here we pour it in here. That's pretty. I love mushrooms. Mushrooms are just so clear, amber, I would call them. And you go like that. Okay, then, after you do that, add a little bit of, I always have to check the camera to make sure it's on. Add a little bit of water. I have it in here, excuse me. Of course, cold water. Okay. Add a little bit of cold water. Okay. And you can also do this in your cans as well. You don't have to do it this way. Do it however you want to do it. You could have poured them straight into there, part way in each one, and added water to it. But I just like to do this. And there's a little salt in there, so I don't need salt. And then blend it a little bit. Not too much. Do I have this plugged in? No. Plug it in. There. Okay. And we still rolling? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Blend it up just a little bit. There we go. So my greens are trying to come with it. I want the greens in the beans, not on the KitchenAid. All right, okay. All right. Okay, now let me take you back to my jars and we will do the pouring. Okay. All right. I don't know if I want to do this freehand now. I'm not feeling it, y'all. Let's not do it freehand. Let's not and say we did. All right, here we go. What I like to do to make sure I have enough water. Get this out of my way. What I like to do to make sure I have enough water, you can add later or add now, but I like to put a little bit in each one. Maybe finish it up to the brim later. Well, not the brim, but the shoulder, let's say. Okay. See, because this is getting a little low. One of these is going to have more greens in them than the other. Here they go. Now they're falling. Now they're dropping. Okay. You see how that's doing? That I could take up. Okay, now see? Good thing. Good thing we did it that way. That's not okay. Good thing we did it that way, because they didn't go all the way up to the top. So what I want to do now is add a little water. Usually when you're canning, not all the time, but it goes up to this line here. We call it the neck. And one thing we like about, these are good to use, but the wide mouths, okay, the wide mouths, if you're doing bread or something, a lot of people can bread, believe it or not, and you could pull it out of there easy. You could just use a butter knife and, you know what I mean? It all depends on what you're making. Beans, you don't need a wide mouth, right? And it's hard to mix wide mouths and small mouths in the canner. So now that, so take it up to the shoulder, almost kind of to the shoulder, because I found out lately that when you go too high, they run over in your pot, in your canner. And then you have a mess to clean up. A little bit too much in that one. That's all right, that's fine. In fact, let me take some out and put it in this one. Take some out and put it in this one. All right. Just a tad. I just don't want them running over. I've seen people do it like this before, so it's not crazy. Oops. Okay. I'm leaving this on the video on purpose for those who may have done the same thing at one point. All right. Oops. There. Okay. All right. Now you take your, where's the debubbler? You get a debubbler. I keep it in a certain part of the drawer so I can find it easily. Okay, and you go down. Well, with stuff like this, you don't really have to worry about bubbles, you know what I mean, being in there. But there are some things that you will be canning. You have to make sure there's no bubbles down in there. Be surprised where bubbles will be hiding. All right. Now that I've debubbled and made a mess, now you take your paper towel. I fold it in four. And vinegar. Your 5% vinegar. As I've said on another video, make sure you're getting 5% because these companies are getting slick. What they're doing is they're selling 4% vinegar, and people are buying it and not realizing that 4% vinegar will not give your food a long shelf life. And you might be trying to keep it for about 5 years or so, a few years, and it'll go bad on you. You have to have 5% vinegar, and then wipe around your rims. There we go. Now I will get the lids and I'll be back. Okay, now I have the lids and the rims. I keep everything in bags. As you see, I have my gaskets and everything in here too. You can use gaskets with old lids and it works perfectly. All right, so, but I'm going to use brand new ones. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. And I will put them on. They're clean. And I will put them on now. Finger tight. Tight, but not too tight. We call it finger tight. And sometimes you have to screw backwards to make sure it's going on properly. Some people are just sticklers for doing it slowly and properly and putting that on first. Okay, these are just different ways that you can do it. Not making fun of anybody because it's actually cool. It's time consuming. Put it on first properly, okay? And then put this on and put your finger on it and then screw. Okay? But I just, that's because I'm used to doing it. And believe me, sometimes that goes wrong. Whatever is comfortable for you. Okay? All right. And now, I like to label before I put it in the pot. I know it's time consuming somewhat, but after you've done all this, who cares about time, right? So what I do is, after this, I like to label and do the date. And you could shortcut whatever. B Black Eyed Peas. And it's 10. Oh God. Well, ooh, tomorrow is Friday the 13th, y'all. Boo, like I care. God is good, right? Who cares about 13? God didn't make bad days. 10, 12, 23. EPs. 10, 12, 23. BEPs. 10, 12, 23. BEPs. 10, 12, 23. BEPs. 10, 12, 23. Some people say write like a doctor. I wish. BEPs. 10, 12, 23. BEPs. 10, 12, 23. And BEPs. They say that some people that write sloppy are either geniuses and they have so much on their mind that they have to hurry up and write before something else comes to their mind. I choose to be that way. Child, I'm just sloppy. Okay. Anywho. Okay, now these are labeled and they're ready to go in. See? Cold. Cold. And when I put the canner on, it's going to be cold. 2 quarts of cold water. Cold. And as you can see in the directions that I showed you earlier for beans, oops, 75 minutes. I don't know if you can read that or not. 75 minutes for pints and 90 for quarts. And I believe that's it. And we will see what they look like when they come out, guys. As I said, cold, cold, and cold. The water is cold. We'll put the jars in. All 8 are in. They are processing my beer. 38 more minutes. That is the sound. There. And I'll turn this off. Move it over to the cool eye and let it rest. Now we let it rest for about a half an hour or so, if that long. And then once this goes down, that means all the pressure is out. Then we can take off the weight and then crack, open up the lid a little bit, set it back about a ½ inch, crack it, and let the jars get acclimated to the temperature of this room. And then 5 minutes later, take the jars out. All right, time is up. I let the lid sit. As you can see, it's cracked a little bit. You unscrew it and just crack it a little bit so that jars can get acclimated to the air in your house. And as you can hear, they're popping, they're sealing. So, here we go. All right, take them out, and we'll see. And there are your black-eyed peas. They didn't cook up too high. They look nice, huh? They didn't go up as high as I thought they would. Well, then again, when your stuff is sitting on the shelves, when you can goods, you're supposed to let them sit. Can you guys see all this? Let me see. Get that in. Huh. Oh, the phone's acting up. There we go. When you can your stuff, you're supposed to let it sit on the shelves for at least 21 days before you use them, eat them, jelly and anything, whatever you're making. So that because it tastes different. They acquire a different taste. They taste really, really, everything that you put in there is going to taste stronger and better when you eat them. And I noticed something else that's really good. They came out good, guys. All right. And I'm going to take my phone off, so hold on. All right, I had to take my phone off the stand. They came out pretty good. They look nice, huh? They look really good. Black-eyed peas. That's my BEP BEPS 10, 12, 23. They're still processing inside the jars in case you wonder what the bubbles and stuff are. Sometimes they still process inside the jars. And I noticed something that's really awesome. Remember I said do not fill them all the way up. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times they boil over. So I didn't fill them all the way up, and check this out. Nothing leaked over in my, as you can see, it's hot. It's still hot. Nothing leaked over in my canner. And they look really nice. God is good. Hey, sideward didn't get them in good, but I hate side pictures. But anywho, that's it. And that's your black eyed peas. God is good. Thanks for hanging in there with me, guys. I love you so much. I'm going to try to edit this so I'm not talking so much. And I hope you enjoyed this and have fun canning. You know, have fun with it. Experiment. You know what I mean? And if you have any questions, get in touch with me at RevEssie at me.com. M-E, I guess it's Mac Enterprises. RevEssie, R-E-V-E-S-S-I-E at me.com. Or get in touch with me on YouTube at RevEssie. Or Facebook at RevEssie, okay? Or I'm on Rumble as well, at RevEssie. I get monetized on Rumble and Facebook, so if you would give me thumbs up and like the stuff I do, it would really help me out. God bless you, all right, and have a wonderful day. I don't know what's happening to my camera, guys, but I could have swore I took a picture of the end process of the beans, the black-eyed peas, the bips. But anywho, I swear I did because they were boiling or something. But anyway, they're done. And that is it. Now you let those set for a while and they'll expand a little bit more. You have juice like the soup, you know, bean soup. But if you let them sit at least a couple of weeks, 21 days. You know, people always, old folks always say 21 days. You know, ones that used to cook good, right? And it tastes different and they'll soak up. They'll soak up the liquid and it'll be a little, it's a tad thicker. So they're good like this. You know, if you want to add more onions to it or something or whatever and eat it, but it'd be better in a couple of weeks. And that's it. God bless. Thanks for watching. And to God be the glory, because he's the one that gave me the energy to do this stuff.